my next lecture, that is object oriented programming. Before this, in the previous lecture, we have already learned about the procedure oriented programming, that what is procedure oriented programming, what does the procedure word means, what are the features of procedure oriented programming, and what are the drawbacks of the procedure oriented programming. So in this session, we will learn about the object oriented programming. So what are the needs of object oriented programming? To overcome the drawbacks of the procedure oriented programming, the object oriented programming was developed. So what are the drawbacks of procedure oriented programming? So procedure oriented programming, we can also say that POP, procedure oriented programming. So procedure oriented programming is based on function. We have already learned about the functions, that what is function. If you don't know about the function, please see my last video. So we have already learned about the procedure oriented programming, that it is fully depend on function. But when we come on object oriented programming, it is fully depend on data. Now what is data? Data is just the raw materials. Data is just the raw materials. Now if you want to understand what are the raw materials, I am giving one example, like student. So what are the details of the students? It can be his roll number, it can be his name and class. So these are the details of the student. So these are called data. Name of the student, roll number of the student and class of the student. So these are called data. So when these data combine together, this make a information. So object oriented programming is fully based on data. Data is the raw materials. So this is the example of the data. So now to the data we can also say that object. What is object? Now object oriented programming, the first word is object. So you have to know what is object. So I am coming up that word, that what is object? Unique entity which have characteristics and behavior. So this is also the definition of the object. So what is the definition of object? Object is a unique entity which have characteristics and behavior. We have to learn this object before knowing the concept of object oriented programming, because the first means in the object oriented programming is that object. So we have to know what is object. So definition of object is a unique entity which have characteristics and behavior. Now what is characteristic and what is behavior of any object? For example, this is an object. Pen is an object, and what is the characteristics and behavior of the pen? So characteristics of the pen is it has blue color or it can be black. And what is the behavior of the pen? It is used to write. Same as when we come to table. Table is also an object. And what is the characteristics of the table? It has 4 legs. And it has plane surface. So these are the characteristics of the table. And behavior of the table is that it is used to write, it is used to keep the book. So these are called characteristics and behavior. So anything in a real world is object, because everything has characteristics and behavior. For example, you can take anything, everything will be having characteristics and behavior. So this is the object. Okay. Now we will have to learn about the concept of OOP. OOP means object oriented programming. So if there are question given that what are the concept of object oriented programming, or question given what are the principle of object oriented programming, or question given what are the features of object oriented programming. So for all these three questions there is only one answer, that is there are different types of object oriented programming, concept or principle or features. So you have to see What are the concept of object oriented programming? So first is object. Object is first concept of object oriented programming or principle of object oriented programming or feature of object oriented programming. So first is object, second class, third is data abstraction, third is data abstraction, next fourth is polymorphism, next is inheritance, next is dynamic binding. So these all are the features of object oriented programming or concept of object oriented programming or principle of object oriented programming. What are the principle of object oriented programming? So you have to write object, class, data abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, dynamic binding. These all are called principle of object oriented programming. So we will start with the object. So about the object we have already learned. So we will come to class. So what is class? So class is the collection of objects. If we are coming to know about the class is just a collection of objects. Collection of objects. So this is the main definition of class. In the next chapter you have to learn more about the object and class. So I am just giving one brief introduction about the object and class. So object is a unique entity which have characteristics and behavior, and class is just a collection of objects. Now we have to come on data abstraction. Students, we have to learn about the data abstraction. So what is data abstraction? So data abstraction means if you are going to learn the definition of data abstraction, so data abstraction means it is used to know only the essential features without knowing the background details. This is the main definition of data abstraction. Means if you have to write the definition, then you have to write essential feature without knowing background details. So this is the main definition of data abstraction, in which user have to know in this definition user have to know only essential features without knowing background details. This is the main definition of data abstraction. Now you have to understand this methodology with an example. So what is the example of data abstraction? For example, you all are using mobile, okay, or we are having fan in our home. So these are the two examples I am giving. There are many examples of data abstraction. So, or bike, all students are driving bike. So this is also an example of data abstraction. So how this is related with this definition? So mobile is an example of data abstraction. So what is how this is related to this definition? In the mobile you have to know only the essential features, that how the function will work, how the camera is open, how will music will open, how the photos we can use for our memory power. So only user have to know. If we are coming the example of data abstraction, the best example of the data abstraction is mobile. So how is the mobile related to this definition? So in this only user have to know that with green switch you can make a call. So if you are using mobile, then you have to know only that with the green switch you can make a call. There is no need to open the motherboard to just make a call. So this is the best example of data abstraction. Same as for fan, you have to just switch on the button. Switch on button. There is no need to know about the circuits to start the fan. Same as for the bike, you have to just accelerate your accelerator to speed your bike. There is no need to know how the accelerator works. So this is called data abstraction. There you have to know only the essential features, no need to know about the background details. So this is called data abstraction. So now we have to learn the next concept of object oriented programming, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism is mainly made with the two words, that is more than poly, this means more than one, and phys means types. So this is made with the two words, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism, what is polymorphism means? Polymorphism means using same function name for different purpose. Means same function name with different purpose. Is called polymorphism. So definition of the polymorphism is same function name with different purpose. So this is the example of polymorphism, that what is polymorphism. So this is the example, like area. Area is a function name. You can use this area for finding the area of rectangle, area of triangle, and area of square. You just have to change the formulas. If you are going to find the area of rectangle, you have to write the same name, that is area, and you have to change the formula of rectangle. Then you have to write the function name area, and you have to write the formula of triangle. You have to write the function name area, and you have to write the formula name formula of square. So this is the polymorphism, means using same function name for different purposes. This is the purpose of finding the area of rectangle, this is the purpose of finding the area of triangle, and here the purpose is finding the area of square. So this is called polymorphism, using same function name for different purpose is called polymorphism. This is next feature of object oriented programming, that is inheritance. And inheritance also means reusability. What does this definition means? Taking property from one person to another. In the bio you have already learned about the inheritance, that what is inheritance. So you have to know here what is inheritance. So the definition of inheritance, taking property from one person to another. For example, your grandfather, then your father, then son or daughter. This is the gene system in your bio, you know. So if I am coming to inheritance, then father having the property of grandfather and son or daughter having the property of father. So this is called inheritance, means father is taking the property from grandfather and son taking the property from father. This doesn't mean that father don't have his own properties. So inheritance means it can take the whole properties of grandfather and it can also has his own properties. This is called inheritance, means taking property from one person to another person. Where son or student will take property from here to here, and this is called inheritance, means taking property from one person to another, one person to another. This is called inheritance. This is the next feature of object oriented programming, that is encapsulation. So you have to know what is encapsulation. Encapsulation, here the word is capsulation, means it is capsule. So wrapping of data and function into a single unit is called encapsulation, means if you wrap anything in a single unit is called encapsulation. For example, the example of encapsulation is TV remote. The example of encapsulation is big pack of celebration. Celebration toffee or chocolate. So these are the two examples of encapsulation, wrapping of data and function into a single unit, that is called encapsulation. Here the word is capsule. You have seen that if the capsule is like that, there are many things wrapped inside that capsule. So this is called encapsulation, wrapping of anything inside a pack. So if I am giving the example of encapsulation is TV remotes, how is TV remote is connected to that? So in the TV remote you have seen that it is a TV remote and there are many functionality inside that TV remote. You can sound up and down, you can channel up and down, you can set the color of TV, but it is wrapped inside that box. It is called encapsulation. Means wrapping of data and function into a single unit is called encapsulation. Same as example, second example is big pack of celebration. You have already seen that if you are taking a big pack of celebration, there are different types of chocolates inside that pack. You know, like this is the pack of celebration pack. Then here are the chocolates of Cadbury, Dairy Milk. Here are the chocolates of Gems. Here are the 5-star. So these all chocolates are wrapped inside this pack. So this is called encapsulation. Wrapping of data and function into a single unit is called encapsulation. Now students, this is dynamic binding. It is the last feature or concept of object oriented programming, and this is the last topic of your chapter. So you have to know what is dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means linking of function call with function signature at the runtime is called dynamic binding. Linking of function call with function signature at the runtime is called dynamic binding. So what is function call and what is function signature? This is a Java programs. So you don't need to understand this Java program at this time. So I am just showing you that what is function call and what is function signature. This is a function. Okay, this is a function and this is called function signature, and here this is function call. So linking of function call with function signature at the runtime is called dynamic binding. This is the just example of dynamic binding. Linking of function call with function signature at the runtime is called dynamic binding. This is the definition of dynamic binding. And now this is the end of our class. Thanks for today.